Messy Brings Chaos, and we're your hosts. I'm Molly.
I'm Bree.
And I'm Kelly,
Welcome to the Circle, babes.
where we share everything. Y'all, it feels like we haven't recorded in forever, but it's not really been that long. I mean, when we actually think about it. But I wanted to bring us into a time of reality, I guess. I wanted to have a kind of a starting question for you guys about just, do you remember the moment where you felt like, okay, I'm an adult now? Like, does that, like, do you have like a time?
I do. So it was when I moved to the area that we're in almost 3 years ago now. Because up until that point, I'd always lived 30, 45 minutes from mom and dad. I was 2.5 hours away in an apartment with no roommates. It's one of the first times I've lived by myself, too. Because even at the apartment before that, when I was in the mother-in-law suite with my coworker at my coworker's house, they were still right there. And my family, I have a couple family members out here, but not many that I'm close to. And it was just that reality of they're 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
I have no one down here because that was before I knew you guys.
Yeah.
Kelly and I had met maybe 30 minutes over Zoom or
Yes.
Teams or something at that point. But that was it.
Wow.
But say distance.
Yeah.
Distance will do that to you. I think mine was, it's kind of similar. Like, I had just gotten burned really bad from my first, like, really big girl job, I guess you want to call it. I really thought, like, that was going to be my job. Like, I was going to be doing that for the rest of my life. And so when that job basically got slipped from underneath me, I went home, had to recoup from all of that. And then I was able to get a job in Georgia. Like, at the time, like, people that knew me in college, like, my dream was to move to Atlanta, Georgia, like, be down there, be like a sports agent for the Atlanta Falcons one day. Like, that was going to be like my dream. And so the opportunity when it came, that was like, okay, like, you're going to be able to move to Georgia. It wasn't Atlanta, Georgia, but it wasn't super far in the state. So I was like, okay, like, this is it. I went down. My sister and my mom drove with me down to Georgia. I did the job interview. Everything went well. As we were driving back, because we stayed overnight, we did the interview and just left to go back home the next day. I got the, like, congratulations on my way back home. And so I was like,
big.
oh yeah, like, they were ready to hire me. I kind of felt like that when I was even in the interview. And I was like, well, this is happening. So I'm like, okay, went home. It was literally the year the Atlanta Falcons were in the Super Bowl. Like, I just had this whole thing. I had gotten my jersey. I was watching the game. Obviously, I don't want to talk about the end of that Super Bowl because it clearly was not a good ending for the Atlanta Falcons in that Super Bowl. Everything's fine. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's why I shouldn't have went. So that was February. Literally right after the Super Bowl, I moved down to Georgia. I wasn't even there 7 months. And I was like, nope, this ain't it. This is not it. Like, I really, really enjoyed my job and I loved my coworkers. But the atmosphere, it was very whitewashed. It was very...
In Atlanta?
No. It was not in Atlanta. It was in Georgia.
Oh.
It was close to Atlanta, but not close enough.
Oh.
So once I got there, I realized that where I was to Atlanta, Georgia was 2 hours. And with traffic, almost 3. And it was closer to the Atlanta or Alabama border than it was Atlanta. And it was in the mountains of Georgia. It was not... anywhere where I needed to be. And so I think it was by May, my sister had just gotten engaged. I was missing out on all of the things going on with her. I was like, what is happening? Like, I'm away from my family. I was finding a way to find a flight to go home like every other month. And so by the time my birthday came around in July, I went home and I told my family, I was like, I'm not happy. Like, I don't know what I need to do. And I was literally in tears on my flight back home to Georgia at the time. I was like, this is not. So my parents, when they found that out, they were like, whether you have a job or not, come September and what is that, Labor Day weekend? Like, they were like, we're going to come get you. We're going to move you back home. Like, I think through that 7 months, I was like, okay, like, I got to do this. I got to move to a different state. I got to go to a state where I really wanted to be and realize this wasn't it for me. Like, I'm not an out of state girly. I need to be close to my family. I don't have to be right down the street from them, but I need to be somewhat close to them. I think reality really set in. And like, from then on out, was like, all right, like, I can be on my own, but I also know that I want to be like 2 hours from them, if not less than 2 hours from them. Cause that was a lot. That's because it was from Georgia to here from where I was living to where they are was like 6.5 hours. So like that was a long drive home, but it was definitely a learning experience. I would definitely say that was where everything like reality truly like set in for
You
me.
felt grown then.
I was grown.
That
I'm not
do it
making
to
a
you.
lot of money. And that was also like right around when I got my first credit card.
Yeah.
We can get into that later.
Ooh.
But yeah, that's probably my like reality moment.
Okay. For me, I feel like I'm still not an adult. I have spurts of that,
Mhm.
of those feelings, like even now, and I'm like 28 years old. But also, I feel like because of my family dynamic, I've always kind of had to be an adult, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, single mom, 3 kids, we kind of had to figure things out on our own. And so I think maybe now in those moments where I still don't feel like an adult, I'm going back to my childhood or like moments of being, oh, this isn't my problem type of mindset. But so that's one answer.
Yeah.
And then when I felt like an adult, definitely when them bills started piling up.
Yeah,
Oh.
that'll do it. That first rent payment that
Yep.
has to come out of your pocket.
Yeah. I mean, and then also the moment when I decided to move out on my own, I was looking for the best type of apartment on my budget, trying to budget, you know, grocery bills and like light bills that are unpredictable and
Yes.
all those things. And I wish I was a kid where I didn't have to pay bills.
I mean, honestly, if my family was in this area with the way that rent is in where
Oh,
we
I'd
live
move
right
in
now,
a heartbeat.
I would be living with my parents.
It's insane.
It's like this area is crazy. Now, if I was living closer where where you grow up or where I grew up, I think I could afford
Oh, yeah, we
to
could
live on
afford-
my own. But like in this
Yeah.
area,
This area is great.
But that's the
It's
thing you got to
insane.
think about. You move back down that way, there aren't a lot of jobs that are going to pay what we're making now.
no, you're gonna make what you can afford and basically be in the same predicament.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
Like, but it is nice to go and visit because like gas is cheaper and you can get some things cheaper.
Yeah.
Food is cheaper.
And when you're with your parents, they usually pay.
They usually do, and we appreciate that.
Very much do. Thank you very
Especially
much,
those
Dad.
3 or 4 meals that they bought this past weekend when I was home.
Love being the baby of the family because that is truly helpful.
Thanks, parents, if you're listening.
We love you guys.
I'm not gonna
Shout
lie,
out.
I don't know if my mom knows this podcast exists.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I've
right.
told her, but I don't know if I've explicitly told her.
My mom knows about it. I don't think she's listening. I don't think, and it's probably for the best. It's probably for the best.
Honestly,
that she
my
doesn't
mom knows
listen.
most of everything I've probably said on here.
Okay.
We're very open,
Okay.
especially now that I'm older and we've kind of been through some of that same, very much I had to grow up when I was young and become
Yeah.
a friend before I was a
Yeah.
child sometimes.
Mm.
So we were very close, and especially once I got out of college, big girl job, paying most of my bills. She started telling me a lot, I started telling her a lot, and now we have a very open, for the most part, relationship.
Yeah, mom knows. I told her not to listen to a couple of episodes where I kind of aired out some things, but
Surprised those are not the ones she like listened to.
I
See, that
know.
would be my mother. Because if I ever start ragging on like my bio dad or his kid, like
Yes.
that would be
The one she would listen to.
that would be the one.
Yes. I feel like I don't think my mom truly cares to listen, but like my sister has learned a lot. She just told me that over the weekend that she learned some things by listening.
Kelly's sister. Hi.
And then we had a special guest come by last week and dropped off that package for us. So that was really grateful, really gracious of him to finally bring back what was owed.
Not
What,
that-
5 months ago?
I'm not gonna lie. It took me a good 30 seconds to realize who you were talking about. I've been so sick. I am out of it. I have not held food down in a week. My brain is not working.
It's not functioning.
He hasn't spoke to me since I told him to go watch those episodes because he said he listened to him and he said, "Yep, that was nice." And then we went.
Hey, at least he shouldn't take anything else.
This is true. This is true. Stay tuned. We'll see if he pops up this
Not
summer.
in his feelings.
That's why we call him Casper. The unison was crazy. And you remember Care Bear?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Posted a picture. First thing that came to my head. Tell me he don't look like Little Red Riding Hood.
I've got to see this picture.
But wait, and the fact is, it's like she said this while Casper was here.
I sure did.
She showed him that picture. He's like, nah, I mean, he kind of does. And then we went back and saw the Care Bear. He was like, yeah,
Tell me
he
it was
does
on his
kind of-
story.
I think it was on the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that one
Yeah.
kind of still does.
It was like it was definitely
Yeah, it was a more
red hood.
athletic one. You know, like the
It had like
fit.
the bright
It was like
red.
bright red right here, but it was also like dark. It was. I don't remember what
I don't even
college
know.
it was, but that's the first thing. I was sitting right here, and I just looked at it. I looked up. I go, "Tell me he don't look like Little Red Riding Hood."
He did. I can't lie to you. Cannot lie to you.
You're a great person. You just questionable fashion choices.
You know, so since we are talking about adulting and we're talking about sometimes it's not always easy being an adult.
Yeah.
So this episode is really focusing on the struggles of adulting. When y'all think about like your current struggles, daily struggles, being, you know, our age, what are some of like the things that y'all are truly like struggling with? Obviously, Brie, you had not such a great day today. Hot take. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, for sure. So, should I talk about work or should I talk about...
I think maybe the appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as one young adult does, you get your body checked out. For some people, it's more often than others. I have constantly struggled with weight and lifestyle just because I have, you know,
You're busy.
I'm busy
Yes.
and recently diagnosed with anxiety.
Yes.
So, you know, things happen and you get off track. But my biggest like gripe is these doctors who are saying, it's a lifestyle thing. It's a lifestyle thing. Guys, I've lost 30 pounds. So I know 80% of it is nutrition. I
Yeah.
know that. And
Yes.
20% it is exercising and moving your body. When you don't have time for that and you're stressed out about life and bills and family and things like that, where do people find the time? That's where I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And so me going to the doctor today, I need a solution right now. I'm smart enough to know this is not a long-term solution.
Temporary. Yes.
This is very much temporary.
Yeah.
But it's a good place to kickstart.
Yes.
To kickstart. And the doctor
Yeah.
repeats herself. It's a lifestyle thing. It's a lifestyle thing. Did you not just hear what I said?
I got that.
In my
However,
chart, you can clearly see my medical history, my ups and my downs. I need help and I need a solution today.
yeah, I need results.
Results.
Yeah. I don't. And I honestly think it's like, and I know that she was very upfront about like, I'm holistic. Like, I want to make sure we're doing this the healthy way. I appreciate your feedback, but this is what I need.
Right.
And so hear me out. And luckily, obviously you got what you needed out of it, but it's also like,
You shouldn't have had to fight that hard.
no,
Exactly.
I don't need to be pulling teeth with
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Like,
But you're also not someone who sits down and eats 2 bags of chips.
Right.
you're not
And-
unhealthy. You don't
Yeah,
have time to be unhealthy.
Exactly.
Right.
You just don't have the time in the day to do these things.
Right.
Because if you don't do what you need to do, how are you going to pay for
Exactly.
these appointments?
Boom. And then when I lost 30 pounds, y'all, I was super strict. I did not eat pasta. I did not eat crap. I literally had to sit there and weigh my food out, both protein and vegetables. That's all I ate, y'all. And then I was working out twice a day
Yeah, you were.
for 4 to 5 times a week.
But you were also work schedule wise working from home. You
Yep.
could kind of do what you need
You had
to
more
do.
flexibility.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
if you had been in that situation and then like asking for, I could see a
Yeah.
little hesitation,
Right.
But you just don't have the time.
No.
Because it's like you said when you got here today, you work 50 hours a week when you shouldn't even be doing
No.
that
Absolutely not.
because you're not getting paid for it.
That part.
It's my life, guys.
But that also is going to go a part of like weight too is stress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have time in the day and you're already exhausted, like you'd have no energy sometimes. So it's like all of that goes into account of the body and the way that it transitions and all the things.
Exactly.
So it's like work with me.
And it just felt like she wasn't hearing me. And so I literally laid out my whole schedule. I literally wake up at 5:30 to 6 o'clock to get ready, to go to work, get to work at 7:30 to work till 3:30. I'm coming home in traffic. I get here around 4 o'clock. Okay, let me have the energy to make a meal. What if I don't have the energy? Okay, let me try to get something healthy. Is there anything healthy nearby that's quick to pick up? All these
Chipotle is
things.
typically the option.
And that's what I
But
get.
even
Yep.
with Chipotle, it can be a 25, 30-minute wait.
Right.
Yep. That, I mean, like, it's still, I mean, yes, you can still be healthy with that, but like, then you're spending money.
Now
Exactly.
spending money.
Like, but healthy food's also expensive too.
And then after you eat, what do?
Take
You
a
feel
nap.
tired. You want to take a nap. I
Mhm.
can't afford to do that. Sometimes I have to take care of mom, do the laundry,
Or you're
Clean.
working again.
or I'm working in, or I'm
you're
studying.
studying.
These are factors that impact a lot of people. And some people just don't have the capacity to do it. And that's me at the current moment and state that I am in my life. So that was more like a rant.
No, it
But-
wasn't.
No, that is a very much a
That's-
struggle of adulting.
So that's one of my struggles. Is anyone else struggling with that?
I'm just struggling in general, honestly.
I feel like I go back and forth about, is this truly a struggle, or is it just something that I want in life? Like dating is such a struggle because, like you, Brie, like I feel like there's not enough time in my day to truly like dive into a dating. Like I wake up, I go to work. Sometimes I'm working late, or I'm
working weekends.
definitely working weekends, especially like in the busyness of this season of April, and then it's like the weekends are now booked up, and family stuff is happening, birthdays are happening. I've got plans with you guys. Like my schedule books out so ahead of time that when like I am trying to go on a date with someone, it's like, well, are you free this weekend? No, like I already had plans. I plan these ahead. Like, can we do something during the week? Well, I've got this going on. And it's like, well, I've got small group on Wednesdays. Like I'm trying, and now that we're going to the gym again, it's like, I've got like workout classes in the evenings. Weekends are only, the only time I can do it. And so it's like, is it kind of like beating a dead horse? It's like, I want to date and I know that that's important, but I feel like that's why I also lean towards like this. The best word to use it is toxic, right? Like I go back to this toxic trait of like, I can have these conversations or like talk to these specific people that I have in my mind right now, but it's like, that's not going to go anywhere. But am I using them just for what I need, the attention part? Because I know that it'll probably never go anywhere and I don't actually have to date them because I don't think they're trying to date me. So like, am I just talking to them to talk to them? And then I can go about my day because I got what I needed from them. And then it's like, all right, I can go to bed. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's truly like an adulting struggle because it's like, I can't identify what I want right now.
Yeah.
Do I just want the
I think
attention?
I think that is a struggle. It's
because
like
you can't.
you've got conflicting priorities. How would you, I guess, prioritize dating like on your list of what you want to accomplish in this year, in the next 5 years?
I think that's like, the reason why I'm so good with my job and so content with what I want, like what I'm doing right now, is because like I do want to prioritize dating and finding something serious, but I'm not getting what I'm giving. And so like I need the energy reciprocated. And I think sometimes I talk to people that I think I give more than I get back. And that's where that toxicness is. It's like I want them to give the same thing that I'm giving, and that's never going to happen. And so it's like when I finally find someone that's giving what I want, I don't want to give it back because it's like, you're not where I want you to be. Whether it's attractiveness, whether it's like, I don't know that I can see this, or maybe it's because I just don't know them. I don't know. I think I'm in my own way. I think I have like had this like mental block.
That's a little toxic.
Mm,
Not to call you out, but like, you know,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I've been there. I mean, still, like sometimes I still do that. You just talk to someone for the attention, but you don't necessarily want them. Not to go on a rant about that, but
It's okay.
thank you for sharing.
That and bills. Okay, those are my struggles.
I think my biggest one right now is bills, money, but also the time factor, especially for this month of last part of last month. There's just been so much going on. It's a struggle because you have to prioritize. Like, I felt so bad. I was in the office one day last week. And even then, I was at an event, so I couldn't do much but be at my event because I have to be present and engage with my students.
Right.
Yep.
So I didn't get anything but like expense reports done because I didn't want the billing department on me.
Right.
I didn't want that mean email from that one person to come through, and you all know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
With read receipts on too. But
Mhm.
it's just the struggle of balancing that and also balancing like not feeling bad for prioritizing myself. And that's a
So
struggle.
key.
That's something I struggle with a lot, and I am still working on it in therapy. I struggle with putting myself first. Like, when I wasn't working, I didn't take a day off just to have a day off. I went and volunteered at my old high school and was doing presentations and stuff all day. And then I went and took lunch to my mom and hung out with her. And then I got a few hours to myself. But even then, I sat there, shoes on and everything, because I was like, what am I doing next?
It's the anxiety.
I can't sit still. I also couldn't tell you last time I took my ADHD medication, which I need to get back on that. But
If you could see us right now, we're literally staring at her.
Staring at her like, girl,
I've been telling you about this for weeks.
come on,
honestly,
girl.
months.
Like, girl. Okay. All right.
But yeah,
continue.
I don't know. I struggle with prioritizing myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could be prioritizing someone else and giving that to someone. And then it's something I have to
We're such
do.
givers.
And it's something I'm having to learn to be okay with, having other people prioritize me, because my boyfriend wants to put me first.
Right.
He wants to do all these things when he can for me. And then I feel bad. I had saw this little Buc-ee's bag on TikTok, and I sent it to him while he was at work one day. And I was like, so hypothetically, on your way back from work, I know you might be stopping there. Hypothetically, I will pay you for it. If you see it, would you grab it? And because I don't want to come off as someone who's asking for things. And he literally called me. He was like, it is $12.99. It's okay to ask for things. But that's something I struggle with because I've been with such shitty people. I've been through such shitty things in life. And I'm just like, it's hard. It's a struggle for me to be like, he actually wants to do that and is not expecting anything. And I just have to sit there. I'm just like, I'm not used to this. Literally, I'm not used to this.
I think like nowadays, like the balance of self-worth and like giving ourselves, I don't know, honestly, it could be the way that we were raised, but I feel like women, I think it's just a gender thing where we feel like we just have to give so
I also feel like, especially for Kelly and I, maybe even more so me because of where I grew up, women are supposed to give more. It's the Southern way. You're supposed to take...
Hell no.
Crying. Well, maybe that's the difference too, right? Like you were raised by a single mom. So is that also, is that come into play too where, but I mean, I kind of grew up where there were gender roles, but they're also like, I saw it 50-50. Like I saw my mom and I saw my dad really do it all. Like I called myself spoiled jokingly because like I'm not a doctor's kid or like something like that. Like we were middle class, your typical family, but I was spoiled in the way of like, I had two parents, I had an older sister. Like I didn't get everything I asked for, but like I had everything that I needed while I was growing up. Like we weren't into the big electronic stuff. I never really cared about PlayStations and things like that. But like I was spoiled in the way like their presence. Anytime I had something going on at school or they were there. They were committed to that. They said, when they got married and had kids, like that was something that they both wanted to be able to say that they did. Like dad was one of my softball coaches. When I had a choir performance in high school, they were at every single one. Like they made sure to prioritize that. So like I knew that they valued me and like the same thing. Like I never really feel like we had like the awkward conversations or the conversations growing up because I think like I also grew up in church and like was there 3-4 times a week and those things. So I don't think I was never a problem child. So I don't think they ever felt like they had to like worry about me. Now I'm thinking back to all of that and I'm like, man, they started so young. Like you look like they were having kids. They had two by how old I am now.
Oh yeah, I think about that a lot because my mom had my brother when she was 21 or just turned 22. I'm 27 and I'm just like two children.
I can't imagine what life would look like right now. Like if I had two kids,
I'm scared to get a dog.
I would have been married by now. Like,
if I had stayed in if that's a struggle. If I had stayed in my hometown, I don't know who would have been to. I'd have been married by now.
I don't know where I would be right now if I was still in my hometown, and I'm kind of glad I don't know
that part.
I don't.
And that's a blessing in disguise.
Thank you, Mom, if you ever listen, for making me basically get out the house and go to college. Because who knows where I would have been if I had stayed and went to community college. Because that was the goal. I was going to go to community college and then transfer after 2 years. But Mama said no. She said, get out the house and go live your life. Go have a 4-year experience.
Yeah, that's kind of what my mom did. She was like, if you go 2 years at this community college, like, you won't leave. I said, damn, I will. And she was like, no, you
No.
won't.
Yeah.
She was like, you'll do the nursing program, because I was actually
Yeah.
somewhat smart back then.
You're still smart. You're still smart.
She was like, you'll do the nursing program. You'll start at the hospital over here. You won't leave, and you need to. She was like, not to be mean, but I need you to get out of
Yes.
this town.
Definitely not my mom. I always said for years after, like, you basically kicked me out the house. She's like, in the most loving way. But yeah, I kicked you out the house.
I think I had the complete opposite experience.
Oh.
Like, my mom wanted me to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would have, but like I wanted some independence and some freedom to do
What you wanted.
right and
Yeah.
find out exactly what adulthood means. And
You wanted to make it hard for yourself.
right. I mean, she wanted me to go to a 4-year college, but I mean, honestly, we had no idea what that would entail.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea. I should have waited, honestly. I should have went
Okay.
to community college and then transferred. Probably would have been in a lot less debt.
That
but
part. I think about that every day.
Yes.
In the
So-
businesses we work in, I think about it every
Every
day.
day.
Thank you, student loans. Thank you.
Thanks, student loans.
If the Department of Ed goes away, I'm not paying those back.
Crying.
I don't owe you nothing at that point.
Crying.
Yeah, but on top of, going to this doctor
Mhm.
appointment, I checked my retirement.
Oh.
Yep.
Before tariffs, was up there. After tariffs, about 4,000 down.
Why are we talking in this accent? It really flipped. It really flipped.
I'm doing it so I could stop, from crying.
Oh.
Fair enough.
It's
Honestly, I
all
respect it.
But
I
yeah,
feel that. Yeah, I also got my nice little refund check or stipend check from the other job that I was doing,
Yeah.
and they took about almost half of what they told me I was going to be getting, and so that made me a little upset. I can't even lie to you. Last week I had a little breakdown moment, not like crying moment, but like, what the heck, I was going to use this for certain things, and now I wanted to be able to pay off the one thing that I wanted to pay it off with. So it's like, there's that, but that also lets me know I'll never do it again.
nope.
Because
You
again,
don't need to put
you
yourself
stressed
through
me
it.
out
Yeah.
for no reason. You stressed me out for what I thought was going to be helpful, for me now to realize like it does basically nothing. It's cool, get it added to my resume, but you will never see me adding to my plate for more than what I need to be doing for my job description.
I just think a stipend just means
Give me the money.
Don't tax it.
that 1 month. Right. Why would you tax it?
Pay me under the table if you have to. I ain't gonna report you to nobody.
Oh.
I'm crying.
With our type of job, you know that they
I know.
can't do that.
I know.
I'm just
But
like,
it's like when you say stipend, that's what people expect.
They
Give
expect
them
the whole
money.
amount.
right.
If I sign on for a stipend and I don't get it, I'm quitting the next day. Like,
it's crazy for me is like the way that they put it in my like paycheck, it was like basically overpay. So they were able to put me in a new tax bracket. That's why all that money was taken.
I would contact them.
How? What are they? I mean, it's the right amount of money. It's just the way that it was taxed.
But it wasn't overworking. It was an additional to what your current
Yeah.
duties are.
This is true. I don't know.
yeah.
I guess I could talk to HR.
That's sketchy.
Honestly,
I would
it should have been a separate paycheck.
Are there any HR lawyers?
Oh, speaking of that, another struggle is getting paid by the business office.
Reimbursements. We love reimbursements.
Because I need that 150 from Atlanta like yesterday. I submitted it as soon as I got out of Georgia. Give me my money.
Period. I think reimbursements. Like it took me a month to get mine from Cali.
It took. I think
When I went to Cali.
I think we hit 5 weeks when I finally reached out to the travel office about the Charlotte
I
stuff.
think it's just lovely for work. Where
I
we
think
work,
we-
it makes sense.
I be
They're always
thinking,
slow.
I be thinking we going broke low key because of how
I think about it every day.
with these new changes.
I'm just waiting for them to be like,
I think I need to go to tech recruiting and make money.
freezing
I'm
them
just-
jobs.
they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're not getting reimbursed for meals or something anymore." I'm just waiting on
well,
that email.
I will not be doing it then.
Looks like I won't be traveling
Yeah,
anymore.
because I had to
So
fight to get the
sorry.
one where I'm going to stay at my parents' house because I'm not getting a hotel.
That's insane. You're using
also-
my parents' house.
But you know where I stay. You know where I live. That's not where I live. So if I don't currently live there, what if it's a friend, not a family member? They're not going to cook for me.
But
Right,
also,
so
you
I'm gonna
gotta
have to
think
pay
of the
for my meals.
cost. I'm saving y'all $200 and some on a hotel room.
right.
But I'm also saving you, even if I were to leave from here, I'd have to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm saving y'all 3 hours of time that y'all don't have
Yes.
to give me back.
Yes.
It's giving brokey.
But I will say, I will say there were some people that acknowledged that.
Yes, and
There
I
were
do
some people,
appreciate
yes.
them very much.
But I say there were some people that were like, hold
give
on,
it
time out.
Brokiani.
Yes. But I say I know that people like to save money where they can, but at the same time, like logic. Let's use logic. Let's put that into consideration. Let's consider the people that are traveling when you don't have to.
Yes.
And also,
It's not my region.
This is true too. You're doing this out of the goodness of your heart. Because again, you're a giver. You're
what
a
if
giver.
your parents weren't available and you couldn't stay there? Let's
You
be
would have had
so
to get
for
a hotel.
real.
Yeah, they
And
would
you
have had to
wouldn't
get a
pay
hotel.
for my meals.
They
Let's
would
be
have if
so-
they had been in a hotel.
Yeah, I think it was the hotel thing.
Yeah.
That's
That
stupid.
night.
I'm
Yeah.
still staying overnight.
Because my first job ever did try to do that to me too. Actually, they did do it to me, and I didn't fight for it because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Like it was my first big girl job. I didn't know. I was like, oh, okay. If I'm staying home, then I guess I don't get school.
See, the only thing I was lucky with my first job is the P card that we had.
You pay for everything.
I just
right?
had to have an itemized receipt and be
Yeah.
able to prove that I was traveling where I said I was traveling and had to be gone at least over half a day.
Yeah. Most privates are like that.
Yes.
Well, y'all, like honestly, we have no solutions. I think honestly, like
This has just been a rant
I think
episode,
this is all
and
about
I
a
think we
rant.
needed this.
yes, we truly have every day is a new struggle. I think like weekends are our times to decompress before we have to go back into the stress of the week. And some weeks are better. Some weeks, I'm definitely looking forward to having a few months of chill time coming up soon.
No
and
spending money time.
Yes, no spending money, hanging out by the pool, looking forward to just kind of taking a break and just having a good summer.
Yeah.
Like good vibes only kind of summer. Hopefully there will be less stressful times, maybe taking a break from adulting for a little bit.
Yes.
No?
I'm not feeling optimistic about it,
Dang.
Okay.
to be real, but I'm hoping.
I think it'll be okay. I have maybe not high hopes, but I have some hopes. I have some hopes for
I'm sorry.
Bless.
Wow. Well, on that note, I think it's time we close it out.
Yeah, we'll wrap it on that one.
Thank you guys for just hanging out with us over these last couple of months. It's been so much fun to just be able to do this with the besties and rant and enjoy each other's company. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it along the way. We've heard some comments. We've gotten some feedback from people that have enjoyed it, learned, laughed with us. So hopefully you've been able to do the same. Continue to like and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Apple Music or Spotify. You can also watch our videos on YouTube. We are closing, which is crazy, but we're closing out the season coming up. We have just a few more episodes before we close out for the season. We're going to take the summer off. Looking forward to a couple of months of just vibing. We might do a couple of special episodes every now and then. You'll kind of see those pop in and out, but we are looking forward to a good little break. So stay tuned and
And don't forget, keep it messy, babes.
see you next time.